name is Claire Butler. I'm a palliative care physician and I'm also an academic researcher at the University of Kent. I led a research project looking at hospice at home services across England, and we'd like to present our findings to you in the form of 6 videos, of which this is one. The theme of this video is integration and coordination. Patients who are approaching the end of their lives at home receive care from a wide range of health and social care providers. It is very unusual for anyone to receive care solely from a hospice at home organisation. For this reason, integrating and coordinating with the other services providing support is important, in fact vital, even for hospice at home services who are providing 24-hour care. And we know from our research that many hospice at home services do not provide care 24 hours a day. We know from our research study that hospice at home services work hard on integration and coordination, both at a strategic level and also in the home. At the level of boards and senior management, it is worth considering some of the tensions that are at play that we identified in our research. We found that hospice at home services are working to engage with commissioners and other providers to promote integration. But there was also a wariness of collaborative and joint commissioning arrangements. It's worth remembering that hospice at home services are often small organisations, many predominantly charitably funded, and for this reason their distinctiveness is important to them for fundraising and sustainability, and also for recruitment. Nevertheless, there is a national direction of travel in terms of joint commissioning, and it may well be worth considering how you might retain your distinctiveness for charitable purposes whilst integrating and coordinating more effectively with other providers in your locality. Our research study provided a lot of information about different ways that hospice at home services are working to optimise integration and coordination. One example of this was a blended approach to service provision, whereby people from different organisations are working together in a way without hard boundaries. This might be facilitated sometimes by honorary NHS contracts. Sometimes different hospice organisations might work together, or there may be work with other community services. Sometimes these services are co-located, but at other times they might be providing care through, for instance, a single point of access over the telephone. Another key element of ensuring good integration and coordination hinges around anticipatory care planning. It is difficult to anticipate exactly what patients who are approaching the end of life will need and when. Anticipatory care plans involve careful discussion with the patient and carer about what they would like to achieve in different possible circumstances. It's vital to get that documented and also to share it with other organisations who may be called upon for support or care. When we undertook our project, there were very few organisations who were sharing clinical records through a joint IT system, but there was certainly a feeling that this would enhance integration and coordination for patients. Our study provided many examples of how clinical staff were working together to integrate and coordinate the best possible care. There were regular clinical meetings between teams, for example, primary care end-of-life meetings. There were joint visits between different services. And in the home, people were working together to provide optimum care in a flexible way with colleagues from other services. In other arrangements, there was sometimes an agreed division of labour. For example, the hospice at home service might be providing hands-on care, whilst medications and injections were being delivered by community nursing. At other times, the hospice at home service might be assessing patients in ways that other services trusted and would then act on. In the home, we found that hospice at home staff across all the services we looked at were working closely together with their colleagues in ways that were flexible and adaptable. Organisations that allow their staff this sort of autonomy will encourage optimum care provision. Overall, our study showed that hospice at home services are working on a number of levels to try and overcome the systemic problems of silo working in health and social care, and at times were overwhelmed by the task. And now let's think about the perspective of patients and their carers in the home. For patients and family carers at home, it was vital to know that there was someone there they could contact when needs arose. Better still, someone they knew, whose name they recognised and who they could trust. Sometimes the hospice number acted as a gateway to solving problems that was vitally important. We've discussed the evidence from our study about integration and coordination at a number of levels, at a strategic level, externally, also internally at a service level, and then in the home with patients and carers. In order to achieve optimum integration and coordination, you need to pay attention equally to all of these levels of activity. In our project, we came across services who had invested heavily in integration in one or another of these areas, but that was not balanced by their investment in other areas and did not enable them to achieve all that they hoped for. Ultimately, patients and their family carers at home just want to receive the care they need when they need it. And for them it is not important who is providing that care, but that it is integrated and responsive is very important to them. Hospice at home services are very aware that patients and carers require integrated and coordinated services to enable them to achieve a good death at home. We found lots of evidence of hospice at home services' commitment to meeting their patients' needs as and when they arise, and putting anticipatory plans in place to facilitate this. Hospice at home services and their staff work hard to collaborate with the many other providers who are involved with dying patients at home through both formal and less formal arrangements of meeting and working together. Integration and coordination is vital to the provision of optimum hospice at home care. And it doesn't happen by chance. It requires time and investment, planning and creativity, and may well depend on your local setting and the relationships you already have there, which doors open readily and which are closed firmly to you. I encourage you to use the evidence from our study to consider your approaches to integration and coordination at every level, both now and into the future. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you find the information useful. You might want to check out the other 5 videos in this series presenting the data from our research project.